Hey everybody, welcome to Jacob's Quest, and today we got a brand new official trailer for the Acolyte, finally, after so much time waiting and so many leaked video footage from I think 2 years ago now. It feels like 2 years ago, I don't remember. But yeah, this has been a highly anticipated one, a very mysterious one that very few leaks, very few reliable information as to what's going on. I know we've gotten some behind the scenes set photos at some point. But yeah, not a lot of information as to what the plot is, what's actually, happening. All we know is it's High Republic, something to do with the Sith. Here we go. Let's go ahead and watch it. And yes, by the way, of course I've already watched this. I'm not gonna, pretend I haven't seen this. So I'm not reacting to this for the first time. So yes, I've watched it. What can I say? I was at work. I'm not gonna wait 9 hours to get off work and watch the trailer. But here we go. Let's go ahead and watch it together.
Close your eyes.
We've seen that alien type before. I don't remember what they're called.
Can deceive you. We must not trust them.
Don't trust your eyes.
Tell me.
Very Batu looking village marketplace there. I don't want a Ronto rap now.
Balance. I see fire.
There's a Trinity. Okay. An attempted assassination attempt on a Jedi.
Someone is killing Jedi.
Interesting. They're just trying again on another one.
What happened?
I sensed darkness. This isn't about good or bad. This is about power and who is allowed to use it.
What is that?
There we go. There's our mysterious red lightsaber, possible Sith person, and that's all we get. That's all we get. 2 episodes on June 4th. So, yeah, that's the Acolyte. We got a lot of cool footage here. Let's go ahead and just let this play again. But yeah, we got some pretty cool looking. I like the Batu marketplace. I mean Rogue One Batu. That's what it looks like to me. Of course, your classic Padawan meditation. They did really great. A lot of people, I think some of the criticisms of stuff like Andor was that there was not nearly enough alien species, so many human actors. And, look, to be fair, I think alien costuming and puppetry, that's probably some of the most expensive practical parts that they could do. So I imagine that at some level they try to avoid it sometimes. I don't know. But it looks really good here. Yeah, so we see this hooded figure. She seems to be trying to assassinate some Jedi. It looks like unsuccessfully. But I think that might be a misdirect from the trailer that we're watching, right? I feel like the trailer's making us feel oh, she's definitely gonna lose these fights. But if you watch, she fights she fights Trinity here. And then she's gonna fight this person in a white robe, right? Whoever that was. Here, let's see if we can go back a little bit. They showed them for a split second. Okay, so this is a bearded figure. So she's attacking another Jedi. And then of course we see her attack Soul for a second. This is fascinating. Is this Kashyyyk? Someone said it might be Kashyyyk. I don't know, but it looks really cool. And of course, we got a Wookiee Jedi. And then here she's fighting Soul. So in this trailer alone, we see this assassin character fight 3 separate Jedi. So the trailer's definitely making it seem like this is our mysterious assailant, but I don't know. It feels like they wouldn't reveal something like that so in the you know, just like directly out in the open like that. Like there's something more to this, you know. Maybe that's just the initial plot, like, oh, this character seems to be an assassin, but there's actually something else going on. Like I think that's her there. Is that not her, the assassin that we're looking at? That seems to be her. So it looks like we're going to be following her story. You know, maybe she starts off as like a lowly assassin who fails, and this was like a test from maybe a Sith to be like, hey, you have to kill at least a couple Jedi, like 5, you know. And then she keeps failing. I don't know. Let's see. And then yeah, this lady here, the website description said she was called Mother something, and then she's a leader of a witch coven. So of course, you know, my mind immediately obviously jumps to Dathomirian witches, right? Now they're wearing blue instead of red. Does that mean anything? Does that mean that they're just like a different sect of Dathomirian witches? They're like part of a different version? I don't know. I mean, the interesting thing, of course, is that Ahsoka established that the Dathomiri are actually from an entirely different universe, and they came here, you know, many years ago. So, you know, it would still be before this point in time, but maybe we kind of follow up on some of that, you know? I don't know. Interesting. And yeah, so here's our Sith assassin. Some people were saying this looks like Octo, and I gotta say, it kind of does, you know? I don't know if that's really what this is supposed to be, but this is a lot of the same structure from Octo. Now, our assassin here, is she sneaking up on another Jedi, or is this actually maybe the Sith that's hired her? This might be the dark figure that we see at the end with the red lightsaber. Don't know. Kind of hard to tell. Let's see. I think that's, what's her name? Daphne Keene. She's what was that alien species with the horns on the side of the head? Let's see if we can find a decent picture of this hilt. It seems like a fairly basic hilt. It doesn't look like, you know, it doesn't look like an overly decorative lightsaber hilt or anything. It looks like fairly standard, like just kind of just a cylinder. You know, so nothing too special about it. All we get is the hand of whoever's holding this lightsaber. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure that this kind of show is going to be filled with several fake outs, you know, like they're going to be teasing who the Sith could be, and we're probably going to meet like a couple of red herrings at first, and then eventually we will see who the real Sith is, because they're supposed to be in hiding. They're supposed to be like, you know, there's no historical proof that they exist at this point in time, you know. They're supposed to be really on the down low. So yeah, I guess we'll have to see how that all works out. And yeah, it does look like they're still on this forest planet. Let's see what actually happens here. So they're all charging, and something to the right, it's like this, oh, there's like there's some kind of trap that like triggers beneath them, maybe. Yeah, it seems like an actual, like, you see all the shrapnel and the red smoke. This seems like some kind of explosive device was triggered beneath the Jedi. Like whoever they're charging at, you see the red glow. So I guess you're meant to think that the guy with the red lightsaber is standing right there, just off screen. And it definitely seems to be like some explosion on the ground goes off. So I don't know. It looks, when you're watching it, it looks like a force push. Like, oh, the Sith like force pushed them all back. But actually, it looks more like, yeah, it looks like the ground explodes. So maybe whoever it was left a trap just to, you know, blow them all up at once. Very interesting. You know, I imagine that's how you would, because I was thinking about it and I was like, okay, it's a cool image of a bunch of Jedi charging at like a single person with a red lightsaber, but I'm like, you know, realistically, I'm not sure how well that would go. I mean, we've only ever seen Palpatine be able to like take on a handful of Jedi at the same time. So I don't know. But either way, this is pretty cool. So we see Soul here. He's gonna be like the other character that I think that there's some tricky editing happening here. You know, I don't think that this and this are necessarily happening in the same location or at the same time. You know, so of course that's just how trailers are edited. So I think, although, wait a minute, hold on. When they're being blown back, I thought I saw something for a second. Hold on, that might actually be a lightsaber right there. Can't tell, hold on. You see as this person's like flying towards the screen, you kind of see the glow of something right here. That might be a lightsaber. Okay, maybe it is the same scene, I don't know. Interesting. Anyways, that's all we have to go on, you know, like June 4th. It's not that far away, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited for this show. Look, there's all kinds of stuff out there about like Darth Plagueis has to be in this show. I don't know if the timeline even matches up for Darth Plagueis to show up. You know, and look, Plagueis obviously is canon. Like, he was name dropped in Revenge of the Sith, so like he's not like a strictly Legends character. He does exist. You know, it's just, I think some people, I think because they were told this was like a dark side or Sith centric show, they had like an idea in their brain of what they want the show to be, even though the timeline isn't going to match up to that. And it seems pretty obvious that, like, you know, even if some big name does show up, it's not going to be like about them, you know, like they're not going to be like the main character of the show. They're not going to be, you know, in the background the whole time. If some big name shows up, you know, if at the very end, whoever the Sith is finally picks an apprentice and they're like, this is my new apprentice, Darth Plagueis, you know, it's gonna be like the last episode, the last like 5 minutes, you know. So this is definitely about, you know, it's, I mean, there's a lot of Jedi footage and they're keeping all the dark side stuff very secretive, but like from the get-go we were told this was about the dark side people. So, you know, I think we're all just kind of still waiting on that. Like, what's up with this assassin? What's up with these witches? Like, how's this all playing together? And of course, on top of all that, we still have all these High Republic connections. You know, we have, what's her name? Venestra Rowe. You know, look, I'm not fully caught up on High Republic. I've read like 4 or 5 books, I think. So, you know, there's people that can tell you a lot more about the High Republic than I can, but yeah, there's definitely going to be like a bunch of Easter eggs, a bunch of like, okay, well, this is what, 50 years after the last book came out, so like, are we going to kind of hear what ends up happening to a lot of our favorite characters? Because it feels inevitable that you would have to do that. Like, you're going to have to establish, okay, this is 50 years later, who is still alive, who is dead now. You know, are we gonna bring up like whatever happened to those Nil and all the, you know, the, what are those things, the things that can like petrify a Jedi? They turn them into like stone and then they like you know, they're like frozen into ash, you know, like whatever happened to those things, you know, like it feels like they're gonna have to at least mention some of this, because it didn't happen so long ago that they can ignore it, because you have people still alive that were there for those events. And also, of course, there's the Yoda of it all, right? Like, Yoda existed during this time. He's, you know, 800 years old when he dies, right? So, yeah, he's still very much there. You know, he's still very much an active player as a Jedi Master during this time. How much is Yoda going to be involved? Is it going to be a small cameo? Are we just going to, like, hear his name mentioned a couple times? That's kind of how they've treated him in the books of the High Republic. Like, he's made, like, a handful of appearances, but he's not really been much of a central character, at least from what I've read. You know, he's very much treated as like, oh, he's here, he's just off doing his own thing, because we have so many other Jedi that we're trying to concentrate on. Yoda's not the main character of the High Republic, you know. So yeah, anyways, very curious to see what ends up happening here. Lots of possibilities. I think the one thing, if I were to like give out advice of like to tell people like, all right, just don't do this, I'd say don't go walking into this expecting like you know, hyper connections to everything, you know, right? Like Palpatine is not going to show up, you know what I mean? You know, they probably aren't going to show like the beginnings of Sith connections to the Trade Federation, setting up the Phantom Menace. Like, no, there's going to be a bunch of new stuff here. You know, this is essentially all brand new. So, anyways, I'm excited. Let me know what you guys think about the Acolyte. Let me know about your theories and rumors that you've heard, and Easter eggs that I don't know about from the High Republic books. Yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye.